discuss how the fundamentals of these stocks look on a bit of a medium-term perspective as well. Cyndrella Carvalho, the lead pharma analyst at JM Financials, joins us on the show. Cyndrella, hi. Thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. To begin with, where does the maximum optimism lie within the pharma space? Because that too has become very, very niche. There are, of course, the diagnostics play. There is hospitals, and then comes your manufacturers as well, whether generic or the CDMO, etc. as well. Which is the space that you like the most at this point of time?
Thank you so much. So looking at the space, I think pharma space looks interesting from here onwards. And the CDMO and the API space may take 1 or 2 quarters more, whereas hospitals have been doing well, and we see that interesting trajectory on the volume growth would continue hereafter also. So these segments per se are looking sturdy at this point in time. However, the large focus comes on pharma, given that most of the valuation rollovers will begin now, and we will be looking at FY25 valuations. And given the price corrections which have happened in all these stocks, I believe that we can look at the entire pharma space as well as the diagnostic space in coming 2 to 3 quarters time.
About a couple of stocks then. Sun Pharma is in focus, and that is also one of the stocks which is outperforming. The relative outperformance is coming even from within the pharma pack. How do you like that stock at current valuation, especially the kind of commentary they've given to double their specialty business in 3 years, 4 years? Does it capture in the positive, or has scope from current levels as well?
Definitely, Sun Pharma remains our favorite stock in the space and has a lot of visibility as well. And as you rightly mentioned, on the specialty side of the business. So the specialty side of the business is the one which is going to have a increasing incremental EBITDA positive on the overall earnings. And I think to an extent it is not factored in. We are still in terms of waiting and watching how the scenario is building up. So overall, there is yet to see the doubling of the specialty business, which will happen over 3 to 4 years' time. But meanwhile, the incremental EBITDA addition from this will definitely give us a better scope from an earnings perspective. And it is at this point in time not factored in because, we have Winlevi performance yet to come. Then over 1 year's time, we will see the concert JAK inhibitor addition, which is likely to add another space. So there is a lot of opportunity which is yet to reflect into numbers meaningfully from the specialty. And the domestic business continues to do well and has a lot of scope. Being the largest pharma company in India, still growing in healthy double digits, right? So we are looking at it from the perspective that Sun Pharma remains our top pick in the pharma space, followed by Reddy's, and then we are looking at other names in terms of IPCA, and the other names would be definitely on the diagnostic and hospital side. Diagnostic specifically, we like Dr. Lal and Metropolis and Vijaya, and on the other side, we like hospital side, we like Medanta. So that's the pecking order for us, but definitely Sun Pharma from a pharma perspective remains the top pick.
Sure, Cyndrella, and I was going through your recent notes. So apart from the stocks that you pointed out, there was Biocon in the list as well. A bit surprising given the fact that stock has done nothing in the sense it's been fairly sideways over the last 1 year. It's down, 40%, YTD down around 25%. What are the triggers that make you optimistic on that one, and what's the upside and target price on Biocon?
I think you brought the right point again. I think this is one stock which we are awaiting the number performance to reflect meaningfully. I think the worry is on number delivery for Biocon. We are looking at the performance starting Q4 onwards, a better performance in terms of earnings perspective. And we have a buy rating on this stock. And the hope is that the triggers, near-term triggers, includes aspart approval and clearance of the facilities in terms of US FDA perspective, and followed Bevacizumab approval, and then Adalimumab launch, so which is one of the biggest launch in the US biosimilar space. So that is expected on 1st of July. So these are the near-term triggers, and I think once the number delivery comes for Q4 onwards, investors may start looking at it from a better perspective. But till the time the number delivery doesn't come, the stock may remain in this. But we believe that at this point in time, compared to the valuation and the price correction, it remains at a very attractive pricing to look at.
Just as an industry watcher and a senior analyst in this space, I am curious to get your thoughts on a development which is going on. We all know that one of the India's largest specialty chem and agri-chem company is looking actively to buy a pharma company in the API space. I want to understand how is the API segment looking in terms of valuations? Is it easy to find a buyout candidate? Divi's recently said that a very good commentary came from Divi's on API saying worst of the pressures are over. So how is the valuation of the API basket? Is it easy to acquire a company cheap?
So I think from a valuation perspective, for the listed space, we have seen a lot of huge price correction, in the recent times on the API in the last 1 year. So valuations may look attractive. However, I believe that there is still 1 or 2 quarters more in the API space, for the supplies to normalize, not just from the raw materials, from the API perspective, which are there in the market. So that will help us give a better understanding. But I think valuation perspective, it is attractive. People may find some assets, but the supply-demand scenario in the API is still a wait and watch. We see there is still a higher supply in the market in terms of APIs, and which will clear out over, coming 2 quarters is my sense.
Cyndrella, we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us. So Sun Pharma remains a top bet when it comes to the overall sector. But shifting focus